Match day 12 of the English Premier League completed, and trust me, every team right now is beaten. It all started with Arsenal on Saturday as they lost 1-0 to Newcastle United. Controversial goal, courtesy of VR, something which we'll mention. Then later on Monday, the other team which wasn't beaten was Tottenham, receiving 2 red cards. A lot of actions in the VR are happening, being involved, and of course, finally Tottenham got their L. They took the L from Chelsea with Jackson scoring a hat-trick. We had Manchester United waiting until late, courtesy of Bruno Fernandes' goal, to beat Fulham 1-0. Liverpool was so close to losing to Luton, but Diaz saved the day with a 1-1 draw. Manchester City, of course, they ran riot against FC Bournemouth with 6 goals to 1. Amazing. Where do we start? Weekend with a lot of things.
It was a lot of action. Good Premier League weekend, of course. Dramatic as usual. And I think the main topic today in the preview should be the VAR, because in almost all of the games we had a couple of disallowed goals and strange decisions by the referee. Even on Monday football, like VAR being involved like 16 times in the game, and it shows you how much dramatic this match day 11 was. So before we move to the preview, I think we should choose a match where we can discuss. For me, I think let's start with Manchester United first. They won, but a couple of 1 goal disallowed, controversially. Yes, Scott McTominay's strike was disallowed because Maguire seemed like he was
judged
to be offside. So he was trying to play the ball before the crossing. Goal disallowed. And then we had also in the Chelsea game a lot. I don't know even where to
penalties,
start.
red cards, disallowed goals. Like they had 3 disallowed goals.
Yeah, Sterling scored first, and then the goal was disallowed because of handball. And then a few minutes later,
Son
actually
scored first.
Wow.
Yes,
it was a very busy match.
Yes,
I tell you.
Tight angle from the VR, offside lines were drawn, and it was judged to be offside. From one camera, you could see he was onside. From the other one was offside. For Raheem Sterling, of course, looks more of like it was a handball, obviously. Then we also saw Caicedo, a very beautiful strike.
Left foot strike.
Yes.
Disallowed because of Jackson being offside.
Yes.
And then during that moment, Romero seemed to have stamped on Enzo Fernandez, and then a penalty was given.
Kind of clean because there was a high boot.
Yeah.
Though it was, you could argue, because you saw for Chelsea, like what happened to Romero, he cleared the ball, then reached out to Enzo. At some point it's allowed because I can kick the ball. Once I clear the ball and I clear the player, that's fine.
Exactly. Previously, before VAR, that would have been a normal clearance. But because of VAR now, they're looking deep to see these details.
They're exaggerating it.
But again, I was looking at it as a player, as a centre-back. The ball has bounced in the box. You have seen the ball. You have the sight of the ball. What do? As a player, you have to make movement to try and clear the ball. That's what you're required to do. So I don't care what you're going to do next after clearing the ball, as long as you clear the ball. The person who's standing next to you should be the one to clear themselves as well. So I kind of felt like in football, it's too harsh because you are clearing the ball. At the end of the day, when you were landing, you found yourself stamping on a player. So they should have given him a yellow maybe for a reckless clearance, but it should not have been a penalty.
No.
Red card.
Let me say it was supposed to be a yellow card, but there is no you will dish out a yellow card without a penalty.
That's why I'm saying they should look into these things, because if he cleared the ball rightly, but the mistake afterwards, he was just endangering his opponent, it doesn't mean that he was stopping the goal, right?
Okay. Let me tell you one thing. The issue with I don't have an issue with VR. I have issues with the officials who are trying to interpret it, because they are looking for mistakes everywhere. So they'll go and see now Enzo did this happened. How can we make this a foul? So they'll analyze it, and at the end of the day, you'll end up on the wrong side.
It's crazy.
Because they'll see, you'll argue, of course, you'll argue Romero cleared the ball, right? And after clearing the ball, that's when he stumbled on Enzo Fernandez into the box. This will be the argument from the defender. They'll say he cleared, and it happened at the end of the day, he reached to Enzo Fernandez. But now the officials analyze this differently. They'll say there are many cases where they're supposed to be given a red card. Something like if you're professional last foul man, something like that. Something like they look into the tackle you produced. It's a clean tackle, but it's a tackle which can end someone's career.
So it's a red card, and then one penalty.
Once it's there, tackle which could end a player's career.
It's a red card. I agree, totally agree. But why is it a penalty?
It's a foul. It's a foul. That's why it's a penalty. What else? The biggest talking point
in the match.
Many talked. Until now, we're talking. It's about Arsenal versus Newcastle versus Arsenal match, and I didn't understand why three possible
incidents that could have made that goal disallowed.
One, the ball out of the play, right? Gabriel being fouled, then offside for Gordon.
Wow, those are two. We had a player being fouled before that, or something of the same.
Gabriel was fouled inside the penalty area. Supposed to be,
and then the ball also.
There was offside for Gordon, the goal scorer. Then the other one. Strange thing, people who were watching the ball, they could see from the screen the ball was already out, but the referee didn't see. Right? It wasn't enough for him to see that, and we saw Mikel Arteta complaining. We expect something like him being fined. But somebody, Manchester United hater said, as long as the ball is in the stadium,
it should play as long as it's against Arsenal.
As long as
I agree with you. Whoever it was, claps for you. Anyway, I remember watching that game, and I was very bitter about it as well as a Man United fan. These are decisions that you don't want to see in a game, because I obviously saw like the ball was out first, and then Gabriel was fouled because two hands
pushing
him from behind, definitely a foul, and then Gordon coming from the offside position and then scoring. So looking at that incident, I just thought the referee was trying to look for something to cover up for a possible red card for Kai Havertz he made earlier in the game.
Yeah, that's what I was it has been happening, because when you look at previously, before we had VR, you could see a player being red carded, and VR was there. VR was there even before, because they could go and get the footage. So at halftime, you'll be told you give that player a red card out of nowhere, like out of the blues. Then what they'll do, they'll balance. In the second half, the other team gets a stupid and silly red card. But then again, we saw Bruno Guimaraes. What happened with him?
He elbowed
twice. The first one was just a clean elbow. Then the second one, he pushed him. Then he was telling him, wake up, stand. So I think
something like that. These are the inconsistencies that we don't want to see in the game.
Arsene Wenger, professor, warned you guys and told you the introduction of VR will kill the
touch of the game.
The touch of the You understand? We saw Manchester United full-time whistle. Then Bruno Fernandes Lamborghini going home. Bruno, there is a penalty, bro. Can you come? So we saw him taking a penalty.
How many times will you ever talk about that?
We've seen the other player from Bundesliga when they were having halftime team talk, and he was called back for a penalty. It's happening.
It happens, but if it's happening rightly, then it's okay. But the inconsistency involved in it is what is worrying me, because today, this weekend, Arsenal feel robbed. Next weekend, it will be another team, and it goes on, and then the emotion over the internet everywhere is just like this game has gone bonkers, you know. So I remember even just watching the Chelsea game, maybe flashback a little on that one. And first half was played over 60 minutes. What is happening to the game? The beautiful
because of those VR, they have to take time, and the referee has to watch it, and he has to pause every time. And Jackson, who is Jackson? Who's Jackson?
Jackson is a great striker.
Jackson, many people doesn't know him. Jackson scored a hat-trick before Marcus Rashford did.
He did. But it doesn't matter. There are players who have scored one hat-trick and they ended up not even scoring more goals. So the fact that he has
we have others like Rashford
who have many goals, regardless of it being a hat-trick. A hat-trick is important for a striker though, but it's not something that we can compare with right now. That's what I'm saying.
And just before we go to review, lastly, we're going to talk about what happened. Strong, proper mentality from
Luis Diaz.
Luis Diaz. On Sunday, he scored the leveler for Liverpool, securing a point. And right now, as we speak, Diaz right now, his parents were kidnapped.
Yeah.
And according to reports, he was tracked, like the parents were tracked by 2 motorbikes. And at the end of the day, they managed to kidnap them. On police trying to track, to pursue those guys, it was obviously they abandoned the mother, and the mother was rescued, but the dad is nowhere to be seen
until right now.
It's really sad seeing something like that happen.
Yeah, he actually missed the previous game because of this issue, and I don't want to talk about the incident so much. I want to base on the positive in this, and I feel like Luis Diaz has great mentality, as you said in the beginning. I think in this kind of situation, your father is missing, and you had to miss the first game probably when that incident came up, and then all of a sudden there's the next game. You tell the coach you're ready to play, and he brings you on when your team is losing, and you score that equalizer, which I think, I mean, he's a great kind of player in terms of mentality. We want that kind of mentality, not the mentality where I have had players of the team that I support, we lose 3-0 to Manchester City, they go partying. I mean, credits to Luis Diaz. Credits to Luis Diaz. I mean, maybe if you have anything to say about it.
I'm going to say, like, wishing him the best, and I hope you find your dad as soon as possible, and like he be safe and sound. That is what matters. For such, not so sure if those guys who kidnap their parents, maybe they were having fun, something like that. They've not asked for anything, right?
They haven't asked for anything. It's a guerrilla group in Colombia, and they are like rebels in the country. So they have killed a number of people. They just go on and like they kidnap people, and then it's like they doing it against the government. So
it's like something which was happening back in the days with SWAT.
Yes. So like in this case now, I think they kidnapped a person.
They didn't know the status.
They didn't know the status. So it came so popular. Previous or recent reports show that the group is now willing to release the father, but on grounds that they should like be guaranteed their security, because they feel like they could be targets maybe from the government or getting killed or something like that. So we wish Luis Diaz a great like recovery. Thought-wise, the thoughts are with you, and we hope that this issue will be resolved soon. So we dive
to the weekend review, match day 12 of the English Premier League. And of course, the league leaders already beaten Tottenham Hotspurs will be up against Wolves. Away, Molyneux, there they come. Now, you told me just off camera, you told me you feel now it is time for Tottenham to start crumbling, and it just happened at the right time. It is time now for them. They're going down.
First of all, did you call them league leaders? They are no longer.
They're no longer league leaders.
Manchester City
they dropped. They dropped. I want to look for Udogi. Udogi man. Wilson. He told me this is the time to win the trophy. Now, do you think Tottenham have the right mentality to recover, to bounce back?
Bro, I remember in the last few previews that we've done, I've been trying to predict Tottenham to drop or lose in the previous match, like against Crystal Palace. I thought they would, and then there was another match. I also said it will end in a draw, and they ended up winning. I saw this coming, and when this starts happening, things just come to you at once. Ange Postecoglou received a yellow card yesterday because of. Have you ever seen him even talk? But yesterday he talked.
Things were running. Just sort of to cut it short. We've seen it with Mourinho when he returned to Chelsea. We saw it with Thomas Tuchel at start. When things are running well as a coach, there is that ego which comes with it, and you feel like I remember Chelsea scoring and Mourinho, instead of celebrating when others were, he just took it out his paper and pen and scripted something like okay. He wasn't there like no time to celebrate. It happened to Luis van Gaal. So at the end of the day, when that win doesn't come, that's when you react. People will think like you are calm and composed.
Yeah, until when you provoke. So what I'm saying is Tottenham, it's now their start of a bad run of form. I'm not saying they're going to lose a lot of matches, but now this is the test that is coming to them. They have been at the top. They have been defeated 4-1 by a team that most people thought would have been beaten by them, and now they have lost very key players in that match. Romero sent off, direct red card, meaning so he's gonna miss 3 games. Udogi man, same.
Udogi man.
Sorry, Udogi. And then we have one of their fastest defenders who've been doing so well in the name of Van der Ven. Catching that hamstring. It's gonna be trouble for them. And against Wolves. Now we come back to our match. Wolves. This is going to be like a very tough match for Tottenham because I feel Wolves know how to beat big teams or teams that have an ego. They defeated Manchester City over there. But again, in the last game they lost, I don't know, to Sheffield, 2-1, and you wonder what's happening to Wolves. But that's why I think they'll give Tottenham a run of their money this weekend, and they're gonna like... I'm predicting a 1-1 draw for this game. How about you? I
think Tottenham still got what it takes to bounce back. And it was a bad day in office for them. When you see how they played against Chelsea, despite going down by a man, then two, they are still playing well. There's a team which is playing high line, and I saw them. You cannot high press when you are two men down. But I think it is time for them to bounce back still. They won't keep a clean sheet, and I'm giving them a straight win. A 2-1 victory.
2-1 victory for Spurs.
For Spurs.
Well,
then once again, they are bitter rivals and they are North London rivals. I'm talking about Arsenal. Yes, they have. They will be hosting Burnley.
Burnley at home.
Yes, the newly promoted side and being led by Vincent Kompany. At home, Arsenal losing their first match in the Premier League. Do you think they have the right mentality to bounce back? Yes, Burnley?
They have. Totally have, because I felt like Newcastle match, they didn't do pretty much poorly, because even the goal that was scored was just a goal that has a lot of question marks on it. So Arsenal will bounce back on this one. And they missed Odegaard in that match. I don't know if he's still missing. Also, Gabriel Jesus was not available during the match. If all fit, Arsenal should bounce back. And Burnley is a team that hasn't been on form. Most of the teams have taken points away from Burnley. And trust me, right now it's not a good time to go to Emirates and on a bad form as well. And being Burnley, because I understand they came from the Championship and they don't have a lot of resources, and that's why Kompany, Vincent is struggling, and that's why I think Arsenal will bounce back and they'll score at least 3 goals in this match. But again, I'm gonna give Burnley 1 goal, and that's why I'm thinking this game will end 3-1. How about you?
I think this is time now for Arsenal to bounce back. You cannot have an easier match, more than like against Burnley, and of course Arsenal will be without Thomas Partey, who is likely to be out until January. So is Gabriel Jesus. Martin Odegaard, of course, was playing while he was unfit. He came in their defeat to West Ham United, the 3-1 humbling, and yes, they exited that cup. And of course, he played, but he missed out huge, because you could see the creativity wasn't there. Arsenal maybe, as much as we are complaining about VR, I feel Arsenal could have maybe gone the entire match without scoring, maybe get a point, which was good away from home. And Burnley are playing well, but then again, they don't have like a lot of players. Their squad is depleted somehow. You cannot rotate that much. They play good football, but they lose. They did against City, they did against United. By the end of the day, they got 0 points. So it is time for Arsenal to bounce back. And I'm going to give Arsenal 4-0.
4-0 victory.
4-0 victory. It's a clean sheet for Raya. No debate about that.
Wow.
Then once again, we'll see our friends Manchester United in the same day taking on Luton. Is it time for Manchester United fans to worry about this? Because when you look at Luton, they played good football
against Liverpool.
Liverpool attacked, but at the end of the day, they dropped 2 points. What's your take on
this? You know, the beauty of the Premier League is it's very unpredictable. Because we thought this Luton was going to be a very easy match for Liverpool.
Yeah.
The game ended in a 1-1 forced draw. Like, they had to score in the last minute of the game. And you might be surprised, because at Old Trafford, it might turn out to be a very easy match for Manchester United, because it's a different ground altogether. They are not used to playing at Old Trafford. I don't remember the last time Luton played at Old Trafford. And that's why I'm thinking this is the game where Manchester United can use to push towards the top 4, because they are currently 8th, and it's very stacked up in between 4th and 8th. They are like 6 or so points off top 4.
I never knew one day you'll talk.
Don't interrupt me, man.
Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity for Manchester United to win with 3 points and get a clean sheet in this match. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details, because I feel like the players. I remember maybe in the game against Fulham, there was a banner for Man United fans showing the players that you should play for this club like you mean it. And Scott McTominay, after we won the game, he said they saw the banner and they tried to do everything they could to win the game. I just feel that is still a talk, because the performance was not good. That's why I'm thinking they should just show it at Old Trafford this time that they are going to win comfortably. I still feel they'll struggle, but I'm predicting a 2-0 victory for Man United. How about you?
You know, United is a team you cannot trust when it comes to defending.
Yep.
They can concede in time, but still they have good attack, which hasn't been performing, of course.
Yeah.
I feel Luton can nick one in against United, and I'm going to give United a win anyway. And I'll go for a 2-1.
Is that you predicting a Manchester United win?
Over the weekend, I gave United 2-1 win against Fulham, right?
Are you sure?
Remember. You can check those videos. Well, big prediction. The only game I said United are not going to win
is Manchester Derby.
Manchester Derby and Arsenal match. You can rewind and check. Anyway, we go straight to Sunday, and before we have 2 good matches, but before going to them, master of jinxing, Brian Weremu. I just mentioned about Aston Villa. One of the teams is flying high until Weremu mentioned.
Say that they should win. Well, Aston Villa are good at home. Maybe the fact that
all the matches they should be playing at home.
At home, yeah, probably so that they win. But away from home, I think I expected them to score in that match, in which they lost 2-0 against Nottingham, but they didn't. However, it was a poor performance even from the best keeper who earned the best. Is it Copa trophy? Yeah. Like I mean. He made a lot of errors in that match, and then they lost 2-0. But I'm hoping they can do better this weekend. Who are they playing?
They are taking on Fulham.
Fulham at home, yeah. I still expect that Fulham will give them
trouble.
Food for thought, because Fulham is a team that defends very well sometimes, and if they give you that kind of question, it's very hard to answer. So
do not jinx them. That's enough.
Okay, that's enough. But they'll score.
Yeah.
Aston Villa has to score in that match. I don't know how the match will end, but they have to score.
All right. On Sunday, we have Liverpool taking on Brentford at Anfield. It is a match you had analyzed. It was supposed to be on your bet slip, but you changed your mind all of a sudden. I swear, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's because I had given Liverpool to win against Luton, and they spoiled our nice weekend bet slip.
Mkeka.
They call it Mkeka in Tanzania.
It's bet slip in Tanzania, it's Mkeka. Muamala. Yeah. What's Muamala?
No, Muamala is a transaction. So when you deposit money, that's a Muamala.
Muamala, right.
So yeah, I think I fear that game because ever since the season began, I haven't seen like the best Liverpool that I know under Klopp. So that's why I've been predicting most of the time for them to draw or lose sometimes, but they've had an easier kind of fixture at some point. But Luton was not an easy one to think of it. So in this one, I remembered what Brentford did to Chelsea at Stamford, and I said, hey, let Liverpool win on their own, not with my money. Yeah, actually at BetPower they have around 1.35 odds, but yeah, I just felt like that game should play on its own. But for our predictions on the preview, I think they still can win, and they will have to bounce back from that draw, if we can call it bouncing back. And
getting back to winning ways.
Yeah, they're gonna win this game 3-1.
I feel it's gonna be a close match because Brentford is a team which is not afraid to attack. They'll attack and attack, and because of attacking, they'll be loose at the back and they'll concede. So I'm seeing Liverpool scoring at least 3 goals in this match. Not so sure gonna be goals galore. So I'm gonna give Liverpool something like 3-2 victory. It will be a close match. Yeah, it's not easy as people think.
Yeah. What's your take on Nunez though?
Okay, the white Javinho.
You call him Javinho?
Yeah, he's just like Javinho. Let me say that, because he will score the impossible and miss the obvious.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because he's a good player, but when you start having those off moments more than... Of course, somebody like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, the big players, KDB, Haaland, they'll have a stinker. Let me use that word.
Honestly, I think Klopp should not start him because he kind of plays well from the bench. He learns a lot, maybe the game on the bench, and then when he comes, he makes a lot of impact. So he should not start because whenever he starts, he misses a lot of chances, and sometimes it costs the team.
He can miss his wedding, trust me.
Yeah, well, what's the next game on our cards?
Feature. Match of the day.
Match of the day.
And it is Chelsea taking on defending champions Manchester City. Massacre, Manchester City. I want you to go straight. Give me 5 matches, last 5 matches in the Premier League for City, last 5 matches for Chelsea, head-to-head the last 5 matches.
Well, here is the statistics. Chelsea have done not so badly, by the way, but they've won against Tottenham. They've also won against Burnley. They drew against Arsenal, and then they were defeated by Brentford. 2-0 at Stamford Bridge.
Yes.
So I think Chelsea are doing, from the statistics, they're doing better away from home than home.
Okay.
Manchester City, on the other hand, they lost to Arsenal, and then they won against Brighton.
In a row, I mean.
And then they won against Man United, and then they won against Bournemouth. So it shows you Manchester City mean business, maybe after that defeat against Arsenal.
Tell me the last 2 matches in the Premier League last season.
Between the 2?
Yes, last season.
It's going to be easy, that one, because Chelsea conceded 5 in all the fixtures. Manchester City won at home 1-0, and then 4-0 against Chelsea.
When was the last time for Chelsea to beat City?
When was the last time Chelsea beat City? This should have been this is 2021.
In the Champions League.
That was the Champions League final. So in the league, let me check. It should be Hazard time, probably.
Wow.
Pulisic scored, Willian scored. Yeah, in 2020. In 2020. That's when Chelsea scored.
We can blame it on Corona.
On Corona.
Anyway,
what are you insinuating when you ask this question?
Let me tell you one thing. I want to hear your views about this, because I think Cole Palmer now will be meeting his former
team.
Palmer is a player I respect and has been doing so
well for Chelsea.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to hear your views before I come to mine. Then we conclude. We call it a day. Yes. What's your take on this match?
Well, let's start with the team news first, because I want to know. Having watched Chelsea's match, I saw their captain is back, Reece James.
We don't know when he'll be.
Injured again, of course.
Their right back is back, but we don't know when he's going to be back to injury.
Yeah, and then they had their usual centre backs, Thiago Silva, and it's usually almost between Disasi and Badiashile.
Yeah.
And then on the left, they had Cucurella. Cucurella played, yesterday. There's also Colwill who can play there. And
Enzo and Caicedo in the midfield.
Nkunku is still out. Enzo and Caicedo in the midfield, and then Jackson up front, Sterling and
Cole is there.
Colwill or
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. And then Mudryk
as well,
Gallagher in the midfield. So
yes,
this squad doesn't look so much good on paper, as we've seen the way they've been playing, especially at home. And that's why I'm thinking Manchester City are coming to feast on Chelsea, because most of their squad is healthy, aside from KDB.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they've been surviving anyway.
They've been surviving anyway. I think Akanji will be back in this game.
After suspension.
Yeah, and well, Manchester City are a team to beat in the Premier League. They are already at the top. Tottenham have already bottled this, and I don't see them.
No, Tottenham are not there.
Tottenham are at the top.
Tottenham are representatives, and we knew this is gonna happen one day.
Yeah, London teams. We are used to London teams.
Yes, they always beat
the elephant.
Yeah.
Well, Manchester City will keep winning, and they will win this match. I don't know if Chelsea will score, because they are not used to doing that at Stamford, and that's why I'm going for a Manchester City 2-0. Although we saw Haaland is down, might be, but he's been training.
Yeah, he picked up a knock.
A knock in the Bournemouth match. If he plays this match, he's gonna score, and that's why I'm predicting a 2-0 victory for Manchester City. How about you?
Well, tactically, City have the upper hand. Truth be told.
Yeah.
And I watched the Chelsea match against Tottenham. There are two teams which play totally different football. Tottenham were attacking, and despite Tottenham having a player or two down, we could see they were still knocking at the door of Chelsea.
Yeah.
And with this, that tells you, if you're struggling against 9 men, then against City, gotta be tough.
Yeah.
The midfield of Enzo and Caicedo is not up to the par, and now they're gonna meet with Rodri. You see, it will be a battle in the midfield. Rodri coming up with against the likes of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, of course.
Yeah. Actually, Rodri, he's unbeaten in the last 35 matches for Manchester City, which proves a point of what you're trying to say about him coming back to the team.
Yeah. So my prediction, I'll just give Man City straight win. I don't see by any chance if Chelsea will score any goal. So I'll go for a 3-0 victory for City. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You are the viewers at home, and you have better ideas of how this game will end. So why not hit our comment section with that prediction? Also, we will have it on our Facebook page as a future match, and you will have your predictions, which you can win something. So yeah, that's it. We've come to the end of the Premier League section. My name is Brian.
And they call me Vincent.
And this is the Liquid Sports Show.